It is Cardinals versus Red Sox today as the Cardinals travel to Boston for a three-game series, little interleague matchup. It's the first time since the Cardinals have been in Boston since 2013. We all know how that went, so we'll talk about the bad times of the World Series in 2004 and 2013, but also an intriguing matchup tonight between Adam Wainwright and Michael Wacha as one current big Cardinal, one former big Cardinal battle it out at Fenway tonight. So we'll talk about all that as well as preview the rest of the series on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Cardinals podcast for Friday, June the 17th of 2022. I am Lucas Smith, host of the show. Thanks for tuning in, making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Apologies for no show yesterday. As you might be able to tell from the camera or the current microphone on YouTube with the quality on your podcasting platforms, a little bit of a technical mishap or a equipment mishap on my part. So I don't have all the necessary. I don't have my current microphone working at the time, so working from a headset, but we're still getting episodes out. We'll be doing just fine. I'll have a second episode out today talking about Jack Flaherty. So I'll be doing my best not to do 2 episodes a day anymore, to getting them out 5 days a week, but I apologize for that. But we are here on this wonderful Friday to talk about some Cardinal baseball. And today it's going to be about the Boston Red Sox series. Again, episode number 2 today will be more about the Jack Flaherty and why I'm not worried about Jack Flaherty as he made his first start coming back and why he was not buried. Today, the Cardinals travel to Boston, and I think that the Boston series, the Boston Red Sox, is definitely not a memorable one, or it might be memorable for the wrong reasons. When you think back to the Cardinals playing the Boston Red Sox in 2004 and 2013, obviously in 2004 they broke the curse. In 2013, you had Cardinal fans chanting, "We want Boston," after they eliminated the Dodgers from the postseason. In 2013, the Cardinals got Boston, and Boston won that series in 6 games in Fenway Park, beating actually Michael Wacha in game number 6, ironically enough. And now Michael Wacha gets to start tonight for the Boston Red Sox, and it's an intriguing matchup because usually I do kind of the overview first, and then we'll go game by game and then another segment. But today we're going to start with the individuality games because I don't want to delay anything in talking about Michael Wacha versus Adam Wainwright. This matchup is one that I don't think we were ever thought we were going to see. And yet here we are in 2022. Yadi's still playing, although he's about to go on the IL. Wainwright's still playing. Pujols on the Cardinals, and we're seeing Wainwright versus Wacha. And it's fascinating, too, for a couple different reasons. First off, talking just about Michael Wacha. Michael Wacha was the compensation pick that the St. Louis Cardinals got when Albert Pujols left. They made him a qualifying offer. Pujols said no to that, obviously. So whenever Pujols left, the Cardinals were compensated with a draft pick. The Cardinals used that draft pick on Michael Wacha, and he had a couple of great years in St. Louis. Obviously, the 2013 season is the most memorable one. Near no-hitter against Washington that year, near no-hitter against Pittsburgh in the postseason, dominated the Dodgers, NLCS MVP, had a good start in Game 2 against the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. But since then, he had a good year in 2014, a decent year in 2015, then just wasn't able to really find it all together from the years 2016 on. 2018 was probably his best year beyond that, as he went 8-2 for the Cardinals, but that was only 15 starts for the playoff list St. Louis Cardinals. But when he was on the Cardinals in 2013, for example, he again made 15 appearances in his rookie year. 9 of those were starts. He was 4-1, a 2.78 ERA, and 64 2/3 of an inning. And he struck out 65 batters. Opponents only hit 219 off of him. It was that changeup that was really his go-to pitch. He was a 2-pitch guy at the time. Again, he made 19 starts in 2014, 30 starts in 2015. He won 17 games in 2015, which I think is forgotten about. And I understand that, wins might not be what they used to, might not mean what they used to, but 17 wins in a season is still 17 wins in a season, and he did so. And again, only 30 starts in that season, and he threw 181 in the third innings pitched, and that is his career high. And now, in 2022, fast forward, as a 30-year-old, which is somewhat hard to believe that Michael Wacha is 30. He's having his best season arguably ever. 10 starts, he's 4-1 with a 2.33 ERA. In 54 innings pitched, he struck out 36. Opponents are only hitting a .195 against him. That's the big number there, a .195. He is coming off a bit of a rough start against the Seattle Mariners when he went 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned, and he walked a pair. But against the Angels, the time up before that, 9 shutout innings, a 3-hit shutout for Michael Wacha. Before that, 5 2/3 of shutout baseball against the Cincinnati Reds. So this is somebody that definitely has found success in 2022. And honestly, it's really good to see. As somebody who's rooting for Michael Wacha pretty much his entire career, who wanted Wacha to succeed, obviously wanted Wacha to succeed with the Cardinals. But at the end of the day, just wasn't able to find anything. He left the Cardinals obviously after the 2017 season, or 2019 season rather, as I mentioned. Pitched for a year in New York, didn't find a lot of success there. Pitched for that was a 2020 season. Pitched for the Rays in 2021, not a lot of success. Boston picked him up, and he has been everything that Boston could have wanted from my perspective, and doing what he's doing. And it's good to see him find success. And I was hoping that it would be this way, that it would turn out that Wacha would indeed get a start against the St. Louis Cardinals, because that would just be storylines galore, right? I mean, you've got all the stuff I've already mentioned, that he was a compensation pick for Pujols. Will Pujols start today? Probably not, but still, you got that storyline. It's Wacha versus Wainwright. At the time, it was being prophesized, if you will, that Wainwright is the current ace in 13, and he's going to try and give way to Michael Wacha. It's going to go from Carpenter to Wainwright to Wacha, where now it's been Wainwright for the last couple of seasons. And Wacha had to move on. He just got hurt too much in the St. Louis Cardinal uniform, especially in that 2018 season when it was his best season, and just didn't get the results he needed to get. So you've got all these storylines on top of the fact that it's Adam Wainwright pitching for the Cardinals in Game 1. It's not a Michaelis, it's not a Hudson, it's not any of the other 4 starting pitchers. Of course, it's got to be Adam Wainwright, because storyline, right? You've got it just happened to work out this way, and Adam Wainwright is arguably having his best year in a while as well. He's 5-4, but 73 innings pitched in 12 games. He's 5-4. He's coming off 3 spectacular starts, or at least 3 good starts. 7 shutout innings against the Padres, 7 innings of 2 earned runs against the Cubs, and 7 innings, 3 earned runs against the Cincinnati Reds, when he struck out 7. He struck out 10 Padres in that start, did not strike out any in the Cubs start. But you look at, at least terms of ERA, he has the lowest ERA he's had in years, since 2014, when you look at full seasons. He continues to just defy odds. So I think if you would have told somebody, say 8 years ago, 9 years ago, back in 2013, that we were going to see Michael Wacha still pitching, you probably would have said, well, yeah, he was only going to be 30 years old. But if you would have said we're going to see Adam Wainwright pitching, they probably would have called you crazy. I probably would have called you crazy. And I would have called you really crazy if you would have said that it's going to be Adam Wainwright pitching for the Cardinals in 2022 against Michael Wacha in the Boston Red Sox uniform in Fenway Park. Weird how things work out. Adam Wainwright has just continued to defy logic, if you will, with the way he's pitching. I was on a radio show a couple weeks ago talking about this, and really Wainwright has said that he's not retiring at the end of this year. At least he hasn't said it yet. He's not fully committing to that yet. So is this his last season in St. Louis? Who knows? If he continues to pitch like this, there's little to no reason to not continue putting him out on the mound. Obviously, time will catch up with him eventually, at least you would imagine. But again, this is somebody that since 2017 has seen his ERA drop each year. 2017, it was 5.11, and then it dropped year after year again. He only made 8 starts in 18 and 10 and 20. 20 was because of the COVID year, but ERA still drops 5.11 and 17. Then it goes to 4.46, 4.19, 3.15, 3.05, and this year it sits at a cool 2.84. Obviously, there are a lot of different factors to that. You still got a long season to go, but at the end of the day, he's pitched 73 innings over his 12 starts, and a team that has needed innings, that is huge. He's averaging upwards of 6 innings to start with that number, and that is exactly what the Cardinals need from their pitching staff, or have needed from their pitching staff, and Adam Wainwright has given them that seemingly every time out. Adam Wainwright has been that guy for the Cardinals, and hopefully he will do the same in Game 1 against the Boston Red Sox tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. But we're going to, I wanted to start with Wacha versus Wainwright because of how storyline filled that is, how exciting that is, how weird it is too. At the same time, that we're going to see Michael Wacha in a Red Sox uniform at 6:10 tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals pitching against the Cardinals, against, the team that brought him up, a team that gave him a chance. So we'll see how Wacha is able to perform. We'll see how Wainwright is able to perform. I expect runs to be at a premium based on its Wainwright, based on its Wacha is on a really good stretch of baseball right now, and based on that Wainwright will likely try and step up against his former teammate, against his former Padawan, if you will. And if he's able to do that, we'll see what the Cardinal offense can provide coming off a loss against Pittsburgh, but coming off a series win against Pittsburgh. So now we're going to take a step back, take a look at the Red Sox as a whole. Only 4 games above 500, but this is a team that has really turned it around when you look at the 2022 season. So we'll talk about that coming up here in just a moment. But first, I'm going to tell you about a new partner here at the Locked On Podcast Network, and that is AG1, Athletic Greens. What is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens that help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It helps out just about everything. It's incredibly healthy. It's lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. And even though it is so healthy, that does not mean you're going to have to break the bank. It costs you less than $3 a day, and you're investing in your health. It's cheaper than that cold brew habit of yours. And at the end of the day as well, it's cheaper than getting all of these different supplements yourself. You are investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. The time is now to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That is it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Boston Red Sox right now currently hold a wild card spot in the American League. Just half a game out of a wild card spot, but half a game out of Cleveland, who's 8-2 in their last 10. Boston, though, is still 7-3 in their last 10 and 4 games above 500. This is a team that was dead in the water a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden they have stormed back. They have had a great June, a great couple weeks, and now they're 13 and a half games out of the juggernaut New York Yankees. But as I mentioned, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games, and they really have found a way to find success late in the season. Not late in the season, we're still in June. But you still find a team that struggled out of the gate that is now finding success and will find ways to win. And this is a team that the Cardinals should not just be, oh, yep, this is the Red Sox, not going to worry about this. This is a Red Sox team that is good, that is on a roll, that has a hunger, and a team that really has some guys that have been on this team a long time that have put up some numbers. You got Rafael Devers having an MVP-type season. You got Xander Bogaerts doing his best to stay put there. Obviously, you talked about Wacha a little bit as well. Trevor Story had that good little week there where he was hitting home runs. But other than that, he has been not as advertised for the Boston Red Sox. But the Red Sox are a good team. I'll tell you that right now. The Cardinals are going to have their work cut out for them because when you look at taking advantage of the schedule, talk about this a lot because it all depends on who you play and how you play them. But the Brewers right now are playing the Cincinnati Reds for a 3-game series in Cincinnati. I understand that the Reds have Hunter Green going tonight. Then it'll be Ashcraft and Minor, and Green and Ashcraft really dominated the Cardinal offense. So we'll see if they can do the same against the Brewers offense. But nevertheless, the Brewers are still playing the Reds. The Cardinals were able to take 2 out of 3. They were basically handed 2 out of 3 as they were given 200 runs in the first game. Erased a double play in the second game before the walk-off. In the third game really got out of hand for the Cardinals. So you'd have to expect the Brewers at least taking 2 out of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds this weekend, which is why it's all the more important to step up this weekend against the Boston Red Sox. And the Cardinals have the arms to do it when you look at the probable starters. You've got Wainwright tonight versus Wacha, according to MLB.com. You've got Dakota Hudson versus Crawford on Saturday night, again, according to MLB.com. And then on Sunday, Andre Pallante versus Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta 6-5 with a 3.50 ERA. So the Cardinals are going to have the work cut out for him Friday and Sunday because on Saturday it's Crawford who's 1-1 with a 5.74 ERA. But the Cardinals are going to have to come out ready to roll. They were in Boston last night. I saw the story that Albert Pujols got a suite in the Garden to watch Game 6 of the NBA Finals as Steph and Golden State were able to get the win there. But Now it's time for the Cardinals to come into Boston and to step up, to show that they are truly a playoff team. Because right now they do hold a playoff spot. They're first place in the National League Central. The Mets took 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. The Cardinals are, they were able to take 3 out of 4 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals right now have a 2-game advantage in the National League Central. It's been impressive to see the Cardinals do this. Yeah, obviously you got to take into account the strength of schedule for the Cardinals, but at the same time, the Cardinals have been able to put together wins, string together wins, find ways to win. And hopefully, with Jack Flaherty coming back, that improves the pitching staff as well. Now, I understand that was just one start, and it was bad, and that Jack Flaherty needs to be better. However, you still have to be happy that Flaherty is back, right? So we'll talk about that again in episode number 2 today, released in a little while. But from the Cardinals standpoint this weekend, you got to go out there and perform. You got to sink the Boston Red Sox. You got to show everybody that you are truly a playoff team, that you're not just aided by a good schedule, by an easier schedule than the rest of the league, that you are truly a playoff caliber team, and you need momentum before going into a 4-game set in Milwaukee next week. So Dakota Hudson, who gets the ball tomorrow for the St. Louis Cardinals, is going to have to show that those 2 starts weren't flukes when he went those 7 dominant innings in those 2 starts back to back. So far 4-3 on the year, 3.29 ERA, 12 starts, 65 2/3 of an inning, WHIP of 1.25. So not terrible numbers, but he had those 2 great starts. First one against San Diego, 7 innings, earned run. Gave up 4 hits. He walked 1, struck out 3. And then against the Rays, his next time out, 7 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. And then against the Reds, 7 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts on that Sunday start against Cincinnati. So you got to go out there and show now that those first 2 starts that I was referencing, the Padres start and the Rays start, got to show that those weren't flukes. Go out there, give the Cardinals 6-7 strong, 3 or less earned runs, hopefully 2 or less earned runs, but go out there and show everybody that those 2 starts are the real you. And I really do believe that is closer to the real Dakota Hudson. The one that's going to go 6-7 strong innings, not going to walk too many hitters, not going to give up too many hits, when he uses that ground ball pitch effectively, right? Because being a ground ball pitcher, some of the ground balls are going to find holes. That is just the nature of the beast, right? But I think that, again, not to say he's going to go 7 innings and earn run every single time out, because that would be ridiculous. But I think that is the closer to the real Dakota Hudson. Again, this is somebody that, the sabermetrics might not love him, but in 2019 and 33 games, 32 of those starts, he had a 3.35 ERA. And then 2020 and 8 starts, he was 3-2 with a 2.77 ERA. So this is somebody that has found success at the major league level. He was 4-1 and 26 relief appearances in 2018, put to a tune of 2.63 ERA. This is somebody that has the capability to get the job done. So he is going to need to go out there and say it to everybody, okay, those 2 starts, that's the real me. This is who I can be. And the Cardinals were facing 26-year-old Cutter Crawford, who in 9 games this year is 1-1 with a 5.74 ERA, 52 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.79 WHIP. Of those 9 games, only one of those has been starts. His most recent appearance, 5 innings against the Seattle Mariners, 1 hit, no earned runs, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So hopefully Saturday is the winnable game with somebody with a high ERA and not a lot of success, although he's coming off a good appearance. Because on Sunday, you're facing Nick Pivetta. Like Nick Pivetta is a name that I see a lot, that somebody that Boston loves a lot. Maybe the numbers don't love him a lot, but he's having a pretty good solid season this year. 6-5 and 13 starts, 3.50 ERA. But what's key here is that in the last 7 starts, he's on a run of incredible pitching. He's 6-1, a 2.06 ERA in those 7 games. These are his last 3 game logs. 7 shutout innings against Oakland, with 2 hits given up, 2 walks, and 7 punch-outs. He got tagged with a loss in 5 innings against the Angels, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts, though. And then his most recent timeout against the A's, again, 8 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He's on a bit of a roll, but hopefully, you got the good start against Oakland, bad start against Los Angeles, the good start against Oakland. Maybe this will be another bad start for Nick Pivetta as he prepares to face the Cardinals. And according to MLB.com, this might change based on pitching plans, but Andre Palante is scheduled to get that start on Sunday. If he can give the Cardinals 5+ innings, that's huge. But it all depends. What he needs to get the Cardinals will be dependent upon what Wainwright and what Hudson gave the Cardinals on Friday and Saturday. Obviously, I trust Wainwright to go 6-7 strong. Hudson has to prove that he can go 6-7 strong and not give up 6 earned runs like he did against the Reds. But we'll see what Palante is able to do. But I think that pitching will probably be the name of the game this weekend in Boston, because you got a lot of good pitchers, at least for the Cardinals side of things. It lines up pretty well. And this is a starting rotation that has struggled at times this year, but also has stepped up more times than I think that Cardinal fans care to admit, especially with guys like Palante. Michaelis had turned in a great couple of starts. You've got Dakota Hudson, who had those 2 great starts before this. You've got some guys that can step up. It's just a matter of will they. So this is a tough series to predict. I don't like playing in Fenway. It's a tough place to play, at least for the Cardinals standpoint, looking back at those 2 World Series. But nevertheless, we'll talk about a little bit about those World Series in segment 3, but also want to talk about the reported news that's still reported as of this recording that Yadier Molina is going to go on the injured list and what that means for the Cardinal catching situation. But first, before all that, I want to tell you about BetOnline.net and how it is your number one source for all of your betting stats and sports info. You can find all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including the NHL, Stanley Cup Finals, Major League Baseball scores, and of course, all the latest fighting news from MMA to UFC, even boxing. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sport wagering information, including live betting, esports, and so much more. So go explore the website today, betonline.net, or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and actions of today, because BetOnline is where the game starts. So before we talk about the news of Yadier Molina being likely sent to the injured list, I want to tell you about an important favor we have to ask you here at Locked On Podcast Network. We put together a survey so we can learn more about what listeners like you make your favorite Locked On podcast so good, and how we can make them better as well. So this is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On Podcast. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take you very long, and everyone that completes the survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To qualify for a chance to win, go take the audience survey today. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. Thank you in advance for your help. We really want to make these podcasts better for you, and so we're giving you a chance to voice your opinion today. So it was reported late last night by Katie Wu of The Athletic that Yadier Molina is going to be sent to the injured list with knee soreness, and that Ivan Herrera is going to get the call up. I hate to use this as an excuse, but you have to wonder if the knee soreness for Yadier Molina has something to do with the way that he has played this season. Because I don't think you can look at Yadier Molina right now and say that this is prime Yadi. On Wednesday's game, Molina went 0 for 4, another couple of strikeouts. So his numbers on the 2022 season are not good. He's hitting .213. He's got 2 home runs, 10 runs driven, and he has stolen a bag, which he doesn't usually do. But that is at no consequence, because he is currently hitting, like I said, .213. His on base is .225, and is slugging .294 for an OPS of .519. And in his last 7 games played, he is just 4 out of 26. In his last 15, he's 9 out of 54. This is not somebody who is at his best, and it's hard to see, hard to watch. It really is. So, because I love Yadi, I do. I think that Kisner's ready to play, even though he hasn't really shown that yet. I know Marmol called him out a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, somewhere in that time frame for his at-bats. But I really do think that Kisner is ready to play, which is what I'll talk about in a second. But it is hard to watch somebody that has been so great as Yadier Molina struggle the way he has struggled. But even though he's been struggling, he still is breaking records. He just broke the record for most putouts, I think, by a catcher in Major League Baseball history, which is phenomenal. I mean, the longevity of Molina, I think, is going to be his legacy. The fact that he was able to put on the catcher's gear every day, or at least as many days as he could, basically from 2004 to 2022. Especially 2005 was his first full year. He's put together a legendary career. Some people might say, he's overrated. You put this title of Yadier Molina, and then all of a sudden he's the best catcher in baseball. Well, he's really not. He's the best catcher of his generation. Offensively, you can compare him with him and Posey, Salvador Perez. But for what Molina did with his pitching staff is unbelievable, and I truly stand by that. I truly believe that. But for Yadi, what it comes down to is that I think Father Time has caught up with Yadi a little bit more than it has with Wainwright. And again, you also have to look at that with Wainwright lost a couple of years due to injury. So maybe that has prolonged his career a little bit, because that, obviously he was injured, but it wasn't as much wear and tear as going out there and pitching every fifth day, whereas Molina has had to catch every day or tried to, and the Cardinals haven't had a catcher that they've trusted to take over the reins. Kisner got this opportunity last year when Molina went on the injured list, and he's going to get the opportunity again. Kisner has to go out there and produce. And if he doesn't, maybe you give Ivan Herrera more starts. I would love to see what Herrera can do from an offensive standpoint. He made his debut a couple weeks ago, and he got that call up in that made a defensive appearance at least. But this is a tough loss, at least intangibly. You're not going to see Wainwright and Molina break history tonight. They were going to make a record-breaking start together, 315-16 as battery mates or something like that. So you're not going to see that tonight, as he is, again, reportedly going on the injured list. As of this recording, it is still just a report. Nothing has been announced, finalized by the St. Louis Cardinals. But you still, the report by KDU is usually pretty accurate that what Molina is going there. So it's going to be a tough loss, but also it gives Andrew Kisner a chance to shine and say, all right, I'm your guy. Kisner was, caught a near no-hitter just a couple of days ago. So keep that in mind as well. He is somebody that I think has the opportunity, has the ability to hit. I think he has the ability to prove that to everybody right now that he is capable of being a starting catcher. And that's what I think is the big key here. Losing Molina, again, hurts from that kind of standpoint of the intangible parts of things. But from an offensive part of things, Kisner or Molina were not looking good. And as I'm recording right now this morning, it is made official by the St. Louis Cardinals that Molina is being placed on the injured list, retroactive to yesterday, and Ivan Herrera is being recalled from Memphis. So it is official now as of this recording this morning, so appreciate your patience there. But Andrew Kisner has to step up. And if he's not going to step up, Ivan Herrera is a very highly touted prospect for the Cardinals, and he is somebody that I think arguably is is more highly touted than Andrew Kisner is. So we'll see which catcher gets to step up, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. Which catcher is going to step up in Molina's absence? Because I think the post-Molina era for the catching position for the St. Louis Cardinals is wide open right now as to who is going to seize that. And we're going to see over the next 10 days which catcher wants to try and make an immediate push towards being that successful candidate. Will it be Kisner? Will it be Herrera? Let me know what you think in the comment section on YouTube. Email me at lockedoncards@gmail.com. DM me on Twitter at LJFastball, or on show's Twitter or Instagram at LO_Cardinals. I want to know what you have to say about the catching situation. Before I go, I do want to let you know about the first picks of the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft have been made, so be sure to search for the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and get over 50 insiders, the Odyssey Sports experts, the experts of the Locked On NBA Big Board. The 5-episode Ultimate NBA Mock Draft is underway. First picks were made yesterday. Make Ultimate NBA Mock Draft your second listen today. Make your third listen to the second episode that I'll release in a little while, talking about Jack Flaherty and why I'm not worried, and what the Cardinals did over the last couple of days against Pittsburgh. So thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you struggling through any technical mishaps just because not working with my regular equipment. I hope the quality was still good enough. So appreciate that. We'll be back with full equipment next week. But until I talk to you guys in a little while, or next time I talk to you, be sure to stay safe, stay well, and have a fantastic rest of your day.